Hello everyone, this is Serious Trivia, and welcome back to another episode of Deck Showcase. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, Deck Showcase is a weekly series for the upcoming collectible card game, Total War Elysium, where I'll be showcasing one of my decks in the game. This week, we'll be taking a look at a deck for Davout called the Ghoorkas Assassin. Now, before we jump into talking about this deck, I would like to just thank all of you for watching, because the closed beta phase of Total War Elysium is coming to a close next week, exactly on next Thursday on the 17th of December 2020, if you're watching in the future. And we're going to be taking a break from Deck Showcase and Theorycraft Thursday on the channel because they're going to close down the server, so we will no longer have access to the game after the 17th until they return, either with some sort of open beta or perhaps even the official launch of the game. But there are no words on that yet, so I'm not going to make any assumptions about that. In the meantime, we will leave things off with this very, very fun deck, and if you're watching on Sunday when this video is released, you still have a good 4 days to try this strategy out, because I feel like this deck is quite fun and you should definitely give it a shot. And the core principle behind this deck is a card called Ghoorkas, which represents this Indian troop that was hired by the East India companies, various European countries, East Indian companies, basically localized forces that were well accommodated to local climate as well as local politics, and they served the forces. And in Total War Empires, this was a unit that you could recruit. In the game Total War Elysium, however, this is a 0-3 unit that costs 2 with camouflage, which means you cannot target it or be attacked because you are hidden from the enemy, and you can still move it. And the movement effect on this card is that every time you move it, you gain 2 attack. So this can become a very hidden force that keeps growing until you're ready to strike. And there's a lot of things that can speed this build up. A lot of movement cards, including Regimental Drummer, Well Drilled, Battlefield Inciter. You have Discipline, which will give it 2 actions, therefore 2 moves, or maybe 2 attacks when you want to unleash. Menace, About Face, all these are movement related. And all these will help your Ghoorkas become a very strong force before day 2 even ends. Often to the point where you can do 1 attack and the enemy general will be last gasped. And then you finish them off with 2 Calibrated Ordnance that you've been saving from day 1 and day 2. And they just lose the game. There's nothing they can do about it, because you can build up so fast that Davout can just tank up all the damage they can throw at you because you have 30 health. And if you get into trouble, you can also use things like Conceal to buy yourself a turn, or things like About Face, which not only will protect your general by forcing all the enemy melee to the back line, it'll also make your Ghoorkas stronger and surprise the enemy general who might be trying to hide away from you, because you can flip the script on them by switching the lines up and having your even more powerful Ghoorkas deal the damage when they're least expected. And then the very next turn, 2 event cards, Calibrated Ordnance straight to the face, nothing they can do about it, and it's very satisfying when you get the combo off. So that's enough of me talking about the deck. I think it's time to jump into a few games to look at this one in action. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this, and we'll see you all in the game. Alrighty, so here we are in game, and the best way to showcase this deck is to take it for a spin, as we're going to take Davout and the Ghoorkas Assassins deck and take it for, a couple games. And I think the key here is to know that we only picked Davout here not for any of his special abilities. We're not going to be able to trigger his keep 9 cards in the hand, we're not going to use Iron Defense very much. The whole point why we picked Davout for this deck is because he belongs to the Empire faction, namely the French Republic, so he has access to Ghoorka, the key card of this deck, and he has 30 health. So he's able to tank up all the damage necessary until you can get your killer move off with your assassin. So let's pop in here and see who we can find. Alrighty, we found someone. And there's really not a lot of counters to this strategy. I'm not saying that's foolproof. There are a lot of board clear cards once you get past about 6 supplies that would totally ruin your plan, since we are taking advantage of camouflage. But hopefully we can kill people before 6 supplies. And since we're playing against a Lagertha deck, Lagertha players tend to want to kill you really fast, so we're on a clock here. So the key of this deck is we have to take Ghoorka. We only need to take it once, because there is no plan B. We are going to kill them with this Ghoorka, or we're going to lose. So that's the key card. Then we want to take Extraordinary Advance, Calibrated Ordnance. We want to take as many movement cards as we can. So cards like Will Drilled, Battlefield Inciters even, Regimental Drummers, Freshwater, About Face, very, very important. And then we'll take a Menace. So we get plenty of card draws here. Now there is situations where you might want to take the Discipline, but in this case I think this is probably the best setup right now. And the magic here is Ghoorka needs to be on the board as fast as possible. So there are going to be games when you can't draw the Ghoorka, right? You get 4 of the 9 cards. If he's not in there, there's a good chance he might not be in there. You might be in trouble. But in this case, we got pretty lucky. We start out a hand with him. And we're going to play him. You want to be mindful not to put him on the same line as your general, because if there are splash attack cards, they can attack your general and injure your Ghoorka in the process. And you want to keep this thing as fresh as possible. The only thing that I think Lagertha players have that can hurt this is Blot Out the Sun. And that's only 1 damage. So not a big deal. There we go. That's the 1 damage. The cool thing about Camouflage is as long as you don't attack with it, they can't hurt you. Now she will get 1 raid stack from that unit forever because of that. So that's a little sad, but that's fine. We'll boost it with Will Drilled. That'll create a movement, which gives him 2 attack. And also we'll give the +1/+1 from the Will Drill itself, and we'll just simply move him right back. And now we're already at 5 attack. We're not going to attack though. We're going to build it up till we can pop the last gasp. That's the key of this deck. Now you might also take a Conceal on day 1 so that you can attack once and then conceal it again for a second attack. That's also possible. I'm not going to be killing any of her units, therefore this is never going to trigger. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the Regimental Drummer, or actually we might want to draw a card because I do want to pick up a few more of our cards from our deck. So we're going to actually move him back. Don't worry, even though the direction of Menace is always backwards now, it's still very useful in this case because you can always move him once, so you can always set him up to the position where he can get the extra boost from going back. And now we're at 9 attack, and they only did 3 damage to us. If you're this player, you're scared. You're scared of keeping your general here because you know you're going to get smashed for 9. And let's continue. And you always want to keep this about face, because once the enemy realize your strategy revolves around using Ghoorkas to smash them for like 16 damage with 1 hit, they will hide their general in the back. Then you about face them with your Ghoorka on the back when they're not suspecting it, and then you smash that damage into them with a +2 as well. On day 2, things get a little bit more interesting. Imagine us with a Ghoorka with 2 action. Imagine us with Sudden Barrage and another Calibrated Ordnance to finish off their last 6 health, because you will pop their last gasp. And we had a Extraordinary Advance from day 1 to draw out the second one if we need to. And then after that is just movement. We want movement cards, we want Conceal cards. If you want to make him stronger with Guerrilla Warfare, sure, it's an option. But most of these cards are not meant to be taken. You only want movement cards. All these cards I put in there because we need 18 cards. They're not necessary. So there we go. Alright, we drew Sudden Barrage. We don't need to do it. We have a Calibrated Ordnance in our deck. We're going to pull it out. So that way we have our 6 damage that we need to get the guaranteed kill after we pop the last gasp. Because healing is really at a premium now. And what we can do here is we can move a friendly unit or general with our Regimental Drummer. We'll do just that. And the thing here is we're hoping there are no splash damage cards. And if we know, what a Lagertha player could run, there's no splash damage card we have to be scared of. The only thing that could work is the Viking Cavalry, Viking Scout. But since it's not on the board, it doesn't have fast, we don't even have to worry about it. And now you can see the damage. She knows if she stands here in the front, she will get hit for 13 damage. And she's not going to do that. She's going to run to the back. But the question is, can she build a strong enough line in the front to prevent me from breaking through? Because I still have a unit here, and I have spells or events. Right, so she's going to pull this back, I'm pretty sure. That doesn't help. Oh, she's going to ping it with the last strike. Okay, the first strike. We're about one supply curve off. She didn't leave. Oh, well, then they're just asking for it. So it's game over already. And most likely she would have a way to kill this, but look at it. We have 6 damage in hand, 2 more extra ones, plus 3 here. There's just nothing they can do. And to make sure there's nothing they can do, I'm gonna add a wall. It's not gonna make a difference. I'm gonna give him 2 movement anyways. He's gonna die to some sort of direct damage. But in case he doesn't, we can about face and use him again. And then we can tank for him in the front. Now he's gonna exhaust whatever amount of stray arrows or new blot out the sun plus another first strike to kill this. Yep, stray arrow. But it's already too late. We smashed her for 13. And there's no way she can kill us in 1 turn because we still have our last gasp. The magic of 30 health. And at 6 supplies, right on cue, we throw out our 2 Calibrated Ordnance and we win the game. Ghoorkas assassinated, success. And that's the deck. It's quite fun. We'll keep trying against different opponents just to see if this works. Now, this is definitely not one of those foolproof decks, but it's a really fun deck in my opinion. I had so much fun making this deck because I really like deck with one centralized identity and we know exactly what we want to do. Now, you are going to have games where you just don't draw the Ghoorkas, and that's going to be really bad. I think if you consider what cards we take, the worst situation is if the last 3 cards in your deck is Ghoorkas, Freshwater, and Menace, then you can't get it out on day 1. Then you're in trouble. Or else, if you can draw the Freshwater, you can at least get your Ghoorkas out on day 1. And then just have a slower ramp. But it's still, you know, something that you can do. Whereas if you don't draw it out on day 1, then it adds together with all the cards you take in the reserve, then you're really in trouble. So we do Ghoorkas, Extraordinary Advance to use on day 1 if we can't draw it out, because if we use this, we can eliminate one of the cards in our deck to help him come out a little faster. Freshwater does the same thing, Menace does the same thing, About Face is just really strong, and then movement cards. Conceal is viable if you think you need to end the fight fast, because if you can get him to do attack when he has, let's say, 7 attack, or 6 attack, and then you give him a Conceal, he do another 6, that often is enough to pop the last gasp, and then you finish with event cards. So you can use that technique as well. But I prefer to just build up a really strong one, especially against Ragnar. You know, we're not going to get 2 attack against Ragnar. He touches us with Blot of the Sun, we're at 2 health, we hit him once, and we're dead. So we can see here we don't have Ghoorkas in our hand. So this is the challenge. Can we survive when we don't draw it on our starting hand? Well, the good news is we do have Freshwater to make up for it. We can play that next turn too. So either we draw it or we use this. We take the 2 damage. And since we specialize in movement, we can do a lot of really fun stuff against Ragnar, because he attacks his neighbors. So even if he places himself away from his neighbors, so don't play this now because that's already in our hand, we're going to use the supply catch because that's not important to us. Getting the Ghoorkas is important. There's 2 left. Please get, yeah, there we go. So we're fine. We're delayed by about a turn. Not a big deal. he's slowing down, you know. Messenger is not a fast kill card. It's not an aggro deck, so I'm not that worried. The supply curve is a little bit rough because we do have to play this, and we are. Whoa, he moved that up before daybreak? Does he not know? He's gonna move Ragnar back instead of attacking us with Ragnar? So he has to move Ragnar back now. No, he doesn't know Ragnar's passive? Or he's just really confused because he's trying to attack me? Okay. I mean, he's rank what? He's not rank like Sparrow. Alright, we'll take the damage, because that's going to get us the win. About Face is really strong. We don't need to draw any more cards. All sorts of movement cards are great. Conceal is great. Movement. Double action, you're already seeing action, is good, but I don't think it's needed. If you really think about what you might want here... I don't think we want anything. That's the thing. That's the thing about this deck. You don't need much. We'll take this. You know, if we can do it, we can speed up the attack. Like right now, we don't need much to get him to last gasp, and that's the goal. Get him to last gasp. That's all we need to do. We have 4 supplies, so let's do it efficiently. We draw out our Calibrated Ordnance. That's how we kill him. And then we send out the Regimental Drummer to die. No, I don't even want... I don't want... I'm scared of putting things on the same line, but once again, since we're faced off against Medieval General, I know there's not much splash cards that we're dealing with. So I feel pretty safe doing this. And that looks pretty good. And this is a card that we rarely see used in any deck, because it's hard to control. At the start of each player's turn, a random unit of theirs moves forward. In our case, our Ghoorkas is going to be the one moving forward, because we'll keep it as the only unit on the back line. But for your opponent, it could mean a lot of weird stuff. If you're playing a lot of range, you can pull those units up. If they're trying to play a movement deck, then you could be in trouble, because if you're up against Tall or the likes who like a lot of movement, you're just helping them out. So it's a delicate balance. That's why Open Field is not in this deck. Because think about it, Open Field will only help this card once, and you have to play the Open Field before you play that. And that's rarely going to happen. So we do not include Open Field in this deck. Oh, here's where we got to do a little calculation. Because he's going to pop up, and then we want to flip him back for defense. Well, we'll do this first. We'll draw a card. It could be a 2-cost card for all we know. Exactly. And then we want to put him forward. In this case, we just go for it. He's in kill zone. We win next turn at 6 supplies. What do you know? Even though we didn't get our Ghoorkas until the 3rd turn that we took. Well, mainly because he smashed into 2 of his own units during the end day, or else he would have 6 extra health. But even if he has 6 extra health, it just means 1 more turn. We would rarely go to day 3. Ah, that's why he played it on the back. Doesn't matter, we have 30 health. Hit us as much as you want. And another target assassinated. Alrighty, let's play this again. Yeah, you guys can see why I was so excited about showcasing this deck. I made this deck a week ago. I tried it out a couple times and just stopped playing it. I don't want to ruin the fun. I was like, please don't have a major patch where things change. Let me just showcase this deck before the meta changes, because there's no way they can counterplay you. The only cards that really counter camouflage is... I mean, Forest Fire doesn't really count, I think. It deals 2 damage to all camouflage units. If you run Forest Fire and Blot Out the Sun, you can kill it, assuming we don't pull a Well Drilled, but then we have 4 health. So that I don't think is a counter. The only counters I see is cards that stuns a whole roll, like say out of position for the Ancient faction, which is a possibility here, or if your opponent is running a board clear, also an Ancient board clear, which is no quarters, because as long as you're injured, they can kill it. So that is something that's scary. If they're running Blot Out the Sun plus no quarters, you could lose. Same exact strategy. Most of these cards are here for show. Now there's a reason why I included them. You know, that's pay 4 for 2 damage, pay 4 for 2 damage, pay 4 for a lot of damage with About Face. Turncoats, if you lose your Ghoorka in the early game, but you did some damage, you can turncoat one of his strong units to pop them for you, because you get fast on the turncoat unit. So this card is actually pretty powerful. And then you finish the rest of the health with your event cards. We got it in our hand. We have Supply Catch. We can play it right away. There is nothing early game Priam can do to us, in my opinion. The City of Troy welcomes you. What is our greeting? My will is iron. Alright. And we do Regimental Drummer next. And let the build-up begin. And we move it right back. Now, Ancient cards and Troy cards. Splash damage is a possibility. The Wolf Warriors at 5 cost as splash. That's something we have to kind of worry about. There is the Axemen early on. Nah, that doesn't matter. Keeping About Face for the secret smash damage is what you need. We're going to move him back. And as you can see, once we play Battlefield Inciter, we can pull that unit up next turn. And he will gain 2, move him back, he'll be at 10. Then we do the About Face flip, pop him during the turn after, and he's done. So, we don't have the other Calibrated Ordnance, but there are ways around that too. We don't need to trade this, I don't think so. I mean, we can't do anything about this trade. Doesn't actually serve us any purpose. He's gonna play something, you know, boost him by +1/+1. What's the most amount of stuff he can play here? Not much. He can play a Armed Recruiter and then boost it with his passive. So it's like a 3/4, and then he summons 3 1/1s, and oh. That was not expected. I thought he was going to do that, because that would have been a better play. This doesn't do anything. Okay. Damage, damage. We don't need that anymore. Movement, 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 movement. Actually, no, we don't need that movement. This movement. Double action. And I don't need that one. I can take Conceal. Conceal can work in offensive ways too. And then lastly, I think we pop him for 2. I prefer the Horse Artillery over the Headhunter because it's immediate. I didn't want to draw it right away. So Conceal has the option where, you know, if we need to conceal away a building with high health to attack him, that's an easy way to do it. So I don't need him anymore, because now next turn we can do the About Face swap to hit him. So we need him on the back actually. And that's all we really need to do. I can hit him for 2. It's not really useful. Might as well try to get the other 3 damage we're missing. So now we can do this. Perfect. So on the 5 supply turn... Ah, he's playing the Garrison build. Once again, About Face is going to ruin his day, but all good. So we about face. Pop him to last gasp. I know we don't have the 6 damage in hand, but we do have this, so we can get it. And then we pop him. He can put himself to 8. That's the key difference here with Priam, because he has the ability to add 2 health to himself. He doesn't have the damage to return back to me, but he probably has trample in hand. And if not trample, I'm guessing at least out of position. So I'm not going to put both of my units on the same line, because I have the option of doing a will drilled on him and then give him discipline, so even he can become a 3/3 with 2 attacks, and we can dump, 6 damage onto him, and then save a Calibrated Ordnance with +1 that kills him 2 in 2 turns. So we have options. We're 30 health. Everything is going grand. He's gonna move back, I'm assuming. Yep. I'm guessing he's going to try to stun my front line, or just kill it with a war. The same thing, that's a stun. Now, how will he spend his last 3 supplies? Okay, he's going to boost himself or boost the arm. Oh, that is too greedy. That is so greedy. Like, that's a case of you saying that's great value, but not thinking about, oh, my general's gonna die. Well, he probably doesn't think his general will die, and I can't kill it this turn, I don't have the actual card, but I could easily have the extra card. I'll grab it, get it planned, and I'll use it, doesn't matter. He knows this one's glowing, he knows what's going on. And I'll do that damage to him as well. And he can put himself at 4. This is 4. So we win. He can Divine Protection, Divine Intervention, or Conceal himself, but that's only a delay. Oh, he doesn't even have those. Okay, then's over. Then just another target that got assassinated by us. And see, in this situation, Horse Artillery, if we're missing 2 damage, would have been better than Headhunter. So take this before you take Headhunter. It's just in the deck. It's never meant to be taken, to be honest. But you still want to pick good cards in case the enemy plays some sort of camo, even though it's not good anymore. They can force you to swap your cards. You don't want to put just random cards into your deck. I'll take that one, and we'll play another. These are fast because this is an aggro Davout deck. Can you believe that? And we found someone right away. And honestly, this strategy is general neutral. It's just card exclusions because it is Empire only cards for some of these, Ghoorkas namely, and because of that we have to play an Empire General, and because we have to play Empire General, the one with the highest health is the one that's going to be the best for this strategy. And we're going to continue with our strategy. Yep. And she has even less health, 18 health. This is the lowest health general in the game. We need 12 damage to pop her. Once again, she does have 2 attack, and there's a lot of aggressive cards with, Penthesilea. She gives 1 extra attack to the first card she plays, so it's almost always aggro. We're going to be taking a ton of damage. I predict we might even lose our last gasp in this battle, but hopefully that won't lose us the game. We didn't draw at the start, not a good sign. We still have a 1 in 6 chance to get it, 16.66%, nope. So we relax and get hit. She didn't play anything at 1 either, so it's not the best draw for her, because there are plenty of 1 draw cards that's great for her. What's up with people trying to play Armed Recruiter for value? I don't think it's that worth it, but maybe we get smashed, so can't really say. Oh, this is really, really bad. Might as well put up a fence and call it a day. We don't have fresh water. We only have one more turn. So if we don't draw fresh water next turn, or we don't draw Ghoorkas next turn, we're going to be in trouble. So it's not always smooth sailing, but we got 3-1. Ooh! Just when I thought no one would play Battlefield Inciters. Pleasantly shocked. Okay, so we don't have what we need. So this is our best hope to draw it, because there's 3 cards left. If it's a top card, we luck out. If it's not, there we go. We can start building up from day 2. After taking 4 damages and whatever he summons up to the front. 5 damages, so 23. Assuming she doesn't War Dog us, which is a real possibility. Nope, no War Dog. She's filling up the front line. Archer. That's a weird card to play. It's like a token deck? She gonna play like Sworn Companion? No, what's that card called? It's the one where it equals number of units you have on the field. Alright, day 2, we do have it. It's just a little slow. We'll do our damage. We'll do movement, 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 conceal. Maybe we need to save our own general. I'm going to tag this in case we need a board clear combo with About Face. And then we're probably still going to do the 2 actions. Still very good. Because we can speed up our kill, zone. Because we only need, 11 more damage. So if I get him to 6, I can give him 2 action. And that will be enough. We have over 9 cards, but not really going to care about that. There's no splash. I shouldn't be worried about anything. But just in case, put them on 2 different lines. So if they out of position us, they have to pick which one to out of position. And here, out of position doesn't hurt us as much because all our cards force movement. It's not just that we're trying to make him move. We do want him to move. That's 2 extra, attack. See, now's a great time to draw Conceal and just hide ourselves for another turn. Filled board. Ah! Perfect draw. And the Battlefield Inciter moves him up. That's why we kept him on the back. So perfect there. We're going to be just moving him back again. But do we need to do that? Because he's going to get bumped up anyways. Right, I can just move him like this turn. Conceal my general. Or take a really risky play and don't conceal my general. No, we have to conceal our general. She's going to try to stun our backline though. That's what I'm thinking. And then if I don't play Vigilant Watch... Alright, so what I think I need to do is play the Vigilant Watch, but then it gets killed because I will conceal him. No, that's not worth it. I draw out the other Calibrated Ordnance. He moves up. 9 attack. 9 attack. Let them kill him. It's not enough. Like, 9 is not good enough, so we might as well not keep him in the back. She can't run. They have a filled board. Oh, they're going to kill off a few to move. It's okay. She can run to the back. Okay. I could use a sudden barrage. Alright, she's still in trouble. About face. Into well drilled. If she doesn't have Divine Intervention, Conceal, she dies next turn. We tank all damage. Ah, she is playing Warlord. That's the card. I mean, see, this is the max you can get out of Warlord, right? Filled board, 11-11. It's great. Not complaining, but... Is this guy gonna hurt you? Trying to draw a card, maybe? She can't even pop her last gasp. Right, so, like, the mistake here is, if you were going to stun the line, you didn't need to kill the Ghoorka this turn. So what you want to do is take the 2 damage you threw at the Ghoorka, pop it onto him. Last gas is very important. But anyways, we win here. I thought she was going to be able to pop it, but nope, we did it. And there goes another. Alright, let's play one more.
Show no fear.
Alrighty, let's see who we got. Lagertha. This is the first player we faced today. They know what's up now, so let's see how they adjust. And the reason why I stopped playing this deck after I made it last week was I didn't want people to know about this strategy. But let's see. Let's see if adjustments can be made. Because you got to change cards in your deck, I think. I don't think there's anything you can really do in terms of playstyle. Like maybe you hit our general harder, but like Lagertha wasn't holding back. So let's see how we can deal with it. And when I was testing the deck out, there was a few players who I played multiple games with that day, and they were adjusting it by moving their general back a little bit earlier, so they're trying to prevent the opportunity for Ghoorka to hit them. But then with about face, it's almost guaranteed we're going to hit them, so not a lot of ways around it. We don't have Ghoorka again. That's the bummer. She had nothing to play on one supply. That's usually a bad sign for Lagertha too. Alright, she's not the empty hand type. We played this deck. Nothing will die against her though. We absolutely need to do Freshwater. Please give us Ghoorka. Or at least Menace. There we go. Both what we wanted. I mean, there's only 4 cards. The other 2 would have been Battlefield Inciter, and the other card we're missing here is what? What else are we missing here? Menace, Battlefield Inciter. Alright, what's our last card? Anyways, Ghoorka coming out. Wasting a supply. Oh, Regimental Drummer. Also a very useful card. So like, if I was this player, right? And they remember they played me. Play the Torchbearer on the front, so they can also attack. Because you would know I have no threat in the game. So don't keep it in the back and waste the attack on our general. Because you end up going through day 1 only dealing what? 5 damage? 6 damage on our general? 7 damage? 7? Maybe 7? Is she going to attack us too? Fine. 8? No, still only 7. I thought she already hit us. Yep. A lot of raid. She's in a good place right now. Movement, 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 movement. Double attack might work against Lagertha here. Damage. And then the last 2 card is where things get kind of freestyle. Conceal is always a good one. I think Vigilant Watch might be an interesting take here. because we can put it out here to make her kill it. Because it's a scary card to look at. We have what? 2, 4 supplies. Alright, I want to boost his health for sure. Taking an arrow makes me a little uneasy. And then we can always move him again. The faster we get him into, you know, the kill zone, the better things will be for us. There's one random ping damage coming our way. She could ping twice if she's smart. That's a smart move, because now it's free because of the raid, and she's going to lose those. Don't stray arrow this. See, the theory here is, this ping damage can kill Ghoorkas. That's how she can win the game. So, she shouldn't let these things live just to do a few more damage to me. She should try to suicide them to try to kill the Ghoorkas. At least that's how I would play it. Anyway, so I should stop playing units for her to do that, by the way. We go for, let's see, 9, that's 11. We drew it instead of using that. Probably should have done that first and then do that. That way we can draw another card. But this works just fine. Not going to play the Iron Defense. Going to go get hit. If she is proactive, she would move back. I want to see if she will move back or not. Because the double action is almost like a will drill, if you think about it. Because you get 2 actions, you can move up and hit on the same turn. We're going to get our last gas pop, which gives us +1/+1 on the entire roll. Gives us 2 extra card here, so we have some more flexibility. Hopefully Conceal, because then we have the chance of dying. Come on, pop us. So this is the closest we've been dying. So with Conceal, we're fine. So we don't have a way to move him up. Right. We should probably just sudden barrage and conceal. No, it's not smart. Because then the ping damage comes. We're definitely concealing. That's without a doubt. Do I want to move her around? We really misplayed the movement. Bring her to the back. No, that doesn't help us. Ooh. She's gonna be trying on different rolls. So, depending on what she does, right? If she moves back, I'll explain to you guys later. Right, so if she stays here, obviously we hit her. I don't think she's gonna stay here. If she moves back and be on opposite rolls of us, oh, now she's pinging damage out. Very smart. Oh, very, very smart. Right, so here the play is we wouldn't... I don't think we would last... Like we would about face, take 2. Like I would move her back. Then about face. Then smash her. Get hit for 4 and we lose. Yeah, we lost this one. Well played. We didn't draw... We need another Regimental Drummer or Will Drilled. A cheap movement so that we could hit her a turn earlier. Doesn't matter. We will... Where's the random taking card? There we go. We're random take. It's fine. We lost. She'll just hit us and we'll lose. Because I couldn't sudden barrage the front line. That would have been the other option. Because then we kill 4 things. This pings 4 damage. Ghoorkas would die. And that would be no good as well. So, yep. Lost here. Alright, let's do one more. These go by pretty quick. We rarely get to 7 supplies. That was the first game we got to 7 supplies and we lost that one. Yeah, I think the only deck you run into trouble is decks like super aggro decks. Lagertha, Penthesilea, maybe Agamemnon as well. I can see some really fast Agamemnon decks. But unless you have a really fast deck like that, like against Napoleon, I don't feel like we can lose. Just because we're faster than them in terms of how it develops. Now, of course, we can just never draw the Ghoorkas. That's a possibility. We've been pretty lucky with at least getting Ghoorkas on day 1. And just as I say that, we don't get Ghoorkas here. Let's see if they move up the cannon. They might not. Because you don't know what type of deck you're faced against, you don't really want to move up the foot artillery. Okay. Do it. Oh. Range deck. Oh, we're in trouble. Range deck. We can stop Napoleon's damage. Please don't play artillery officer. Play something slow. Play something like Vineyard. Play something like Mortar. Oh, Freshwater is fine too. Oh, I want Freshwater as well. So Freshwater will be nice. Top deck. Ghoorkas will be nice top deck. Yeah, for those of you who are interested, Ghoorkas come from Total War Empire, the game. And they don't come from that, but they are... in the Total War universe, that's where they're from. Let's do this. Come on, that one draw we can get. No. Alright, at least we still have one more turn. We can still get it. We're guaranteed to draw all the cards, because we went first. So we can get it. Just we can't play it next turn, unless we draw it. Ghoorkas are native Indian troops hired by the European East India companies to help fight in India, because they're well accumulated to the climates and the political environment as well as the local population. I think in the game Total War Empires, they just had a large unit size. That's kind of their strength. So that's why I guess they build up the attack, because of large unit size perhaps. At least that's how they're implemented here in Elysium. Alright, we'll draw it. We can't play until day 2. This is the worst start we had so far, so let's see if we can pull this out. They still have no clue what we're doing, right? They're thinking we're playing some sort of hand size Davout, trying to boost our general. That's not what we're doing. And the last card. I might take another one. No, we don't need that one. I'll take Vigilant Watch. Against these, it would be pretty nice. But it'd be like an 8 cost combo, so that's a problem. On the bright side, we only took 6 damage during one day. For most non-Lagertha decks, that's usually what you take. Oh dear, it's gonna ramp. Ouch. Okay. So we're gonna play the Ghoorkas out. We're going to boost it. And that's it. We're going to have to use About Face early and hope to get the second About Face, because About Face is also a defensive card. I could also Discipline, double attack. I would only need 7 attack. Moving him up would give me 2 more. Yeah, we're already in a tough spot. Will Drill will give him 7. Discipline will give him the 2 attack. 5 cost. We camouflage. We pop him. We win next turn. I think we can do it. We would need to draw all 3 damage. But this is the only option, I think. Oh, he will lose 1 attack when he's not on the same line. Then we move to the same line. No, then we play many cards and he's not going to be on the same line. We have to play 2 cards. He'll lose that 1 attack. He's only at 3. He'll be at 4. He'll be at 6. 6, 12. That's not enough. Right, that's not enough. And this will be the defensive play. And we will just draw for the other Calibrated Ordnance. And just move back collectively. And not use Conceal. If he's playing Well Drill or About Face, we lose. If he has Sudden Barrage, we lose. Because Conceal doesn't save us next turn. We also don't have About Face anymore. There's a lot of problems. We need Sudden Barrage. Sudden Barrage or About Face. There's only 4 cards, so there's a chance we can get those 2 cards that we need. There's a really good chance we can get those 2 cards that we need. About Face will be the best option, by the way. Okay, not the best, but decent. Alright, let me think. We don't kill the cannon. I can conceal the cannon. Pop, no, that doesn't work. We basically have to conceal ourselves this turn. And then hope we top deck a Conceal next turn. There's a lot of wishful thinking right here. Yeah, we would have to Conceal. I would have to move him this way. Hope he doesn't have Sudden Barrage. Because then we just lose. Oh, he has nothing to hit. I was debating whether to hit the back line or not. Oh, he can draw sudden and then we die. Yeah. Did we get really lucky? He's running Will Drill. That's actually scary. He doesn't have sudden, then that's not enough. So he didn't draw it, I'm guessing. Most players play Sudden Barrage. Alright. Let's see how we pull out this one. I mean, we only got to play our Ghoorkas at the start of day 2, so this one was rough to start with. This definitely would help. Need this. Nothing else really helps us. That's the thing. Nothing else really helps us. I guess if we get 4 actions, or 3 actions, it would work. Yeah, nothing will really help us here. But I guess we'll take the movement cards. I think that's still the plan. Turn. There's nothing to turn. They're not playing anything super strong. I'll take the damage. Oh, we drew Sudden Barrage. Okay. It's not a bad draw. We move one of them back. We're gonna have to dap, right? All that fun assassinating is gonna be over. This is only friendly. Don't be shy about boosting your enemy's units. He can top deck a lot of things to kill us. Sudden Barrage, Calibrated Ordnance. He should have 2 sudden in this deck. He haven't used Calibrated yet. I don't think so. That's not a card he needs. Okay, he's gonna trade that. Oh, he just wins. There you go. That boosts the +1 attack. That makes sense. Alright. There we go. Sometimes you get bad draws in the start. It's not a consistent deck. This is a fun deck. And hope you guys get to enjoy it too. And that was a quick 6 games. We got plenty of coin. We're going to spend it. I think we have 2,400. So that's 2 packs. We're missing a few cards. So let's see if we can get them. Mostly rares, fingers crossed. Nope. Carve. I wish I got that earlier before I crafted it. And one more shot. Nope. Forest Fire. A card that would kind of counter the strategy with some damage to all camouflage units. And they lose camouflage, which is the key here. That's how you kind of ruin the strategy. And if we go back to collection, yeah, the reason why we weren't going to get any cards is because we're only missing 1, 2, 3, 4 that could come out of the packs, and that's about it. We'll probably won't be crafting this. This I kind of want, so I might craft it down the line. But I'm going to save up for the other cards and any new cards. Waiting for new cards to show up. Maybe next week we'll have a December update. But in terms of this deck, I think, it's very fun if you're interested in playing this strategy. Obviously, it's not foolproof, it's not competitive, it's just a lot of fun. A viable strategy for Davout. There's not that many viable strategy for Davout. I think the fact that you have 30 health, there's very rare instances where the opponents can kill you on the 6th turn. So if you're, decently lucky or decently not unlucky, where you don't draw Ghoorkas on day 1, you have a pretty good shot of killing them on turn 6 when supply hits 6. And it's pretty unstoppable. And many of the key cards that enable you to do this is Calibrated Ordnance to do the finishing job, coming from the Empire or the French Republic cards actually. And then you also have Discipline, which is very underrated. So with something that you're building up, you can use this to either get a free move, kind of like what you do with Well Drilled, to move up. And then you get to attack because you moved up, and you still get to perform 1 action. So when you're in the wrong lane to attack the enemy when they're not suspecting it, Discipline can do the job for you, Will Drill can do the job for you, Regimental Drummer can do the job for you, and those are the cards you need to surprise your opponent. When they're hiding from you, you have options of About Face. Menace is changed to the point where you can't use this offensively anymore because either your cards on the back you want it to go to the front, or their cards on the back you want them to go to the front. and in both instances, Menace no longer can do that. The pre-nerf Menace would have been a monster in this deck, because there would have been opportunities where we can just pull the enemy general up, hit them with the Ghoorkas, and things would have been pretty swell. But aside from that, the rest of the decks is just filler. None of these really get used. Sudden Barrage is useful, but when you're forced to use Sudden Barrage, that means you're past turn 6. So unless the opponent's playing something like, let's say, Marie, and you have a ton of peasants being spawned that you just got to get rid of, you're not in a good position. Like, by the time you have to use these cards, you're in trouble. So that's this deck. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you guys next week. Bye!